Welcome to the Vanilla to Vixen podcast. This show contains adult content, so if you are under 18 or easily offended, please switch off now. Mr. and Mrs. N are not qualified relationship counsellors. This show is for entertainment purposes only. Now the disclaimer is out of the way, sit back, relax, and enjoy our journey from Vanilla to Vixen.
Welcome to another exciting episode of Vanilla to Vixen. This is episode 160. We are your hosts, Mr. and Mrs. N, and we're also sometimes known as...
The Naughty Couple.
Hello, Mrs. N.
Hello, Mr. N.
Wow. What an exciting episode. We're going all literacy this week. It's all about writers and... I can't wait.
The fine arts. We've gone up in the world.
We have. We've gone very cultured.
We have.
Oh my God. Talking of which, did you hear about the writer that got in a bit of trouble and got sent to prison this week?
No.
Oh yes. They stuck him in the writer's block, but he struggled. He couldn't get past his first sentence. Oh yes.
Oh my God.
But don't worry, listeners. Of course, it's Vanilla to Vixen, so we've got a very special kind of writer on the show as a guest later on in this episode.
Yes, we do.
She's a naughty writer.
She's a naughty author.
Her name is Caroline, the Naughty Author.
Yeah.
And I cannot wait to speak to her and hear all about her naughty books.
But before we do that, Mr. N...
Stick around for that. Oh, it's going to be naughty.
Talking of naughtiness, Mr. N...
Yes.
We've got a naughty party coming up.
We have Saturday the 13th of September, which is next Saturday.
I know.
Not this Saturday, but next Saturday, the 13th. We are back at Liberty Elite in Leicestershire with our chocolate and chill party.
Yes.
And one of the things we did this week, we made a 250-mile round trip to go and collect a bloody huge chocolate fountain. It was massive.
Now, dear listeners, you know that we don't do things by halves.
Absolutely not.
We go full in.
Full throttle.
Full throttle. We like to give it our all, to the point where we were even dreaming about parties, weren't we, Mr. N?
I thought you weren't going to bring that up.
Yeah. Well, we've always been dead honest with our listeners. It's always been a case of, we talk about everything and anything, the good, the bad and the ugly.
This was particularly ugly. I don't want to talk about it.
This was very ugly, but I do feel you need to share with the listener about your dream.
I didn't want to do this.
Can I just put a disclaimer in? If anybody's eating at the moment, you may want to pause.
The dear listener might be having their breakfast, tea, supper or whatever, and their meal will be ruined, and it's your fault, Mrs. N, for bringing this up. We agreed we weren't going to talk about some things that are not meant to be talked. Okay, the dream.
The dream.
I had a dream. We were dreaming that we were hosting a V2V event. Well, I dreamt this dream. Mrs. N wasn't sharing the dream. We weren't plugged in like the Matrix.
We have done that before, though.
We have, but not on this occasion. And I dreamt we were in this beautiful house. It was a house. I don't know. It wasn't like a club. It was a house. And I dreamt that we were in this sort of beautiful house. It was at that special moment when we were just about to open the doors, and you, even after 3 years of hosting V2V, we still get those nervous tummy feelings, don't you? That,
yeah, absolutely.
Is it going to be good? Are there going to be actual people out there?
Is anybody going to turn up?
We open the doors. And we were just about to open the doors, and I could see the back window of this house. I was like standing by the front door, but I could see the big back open to the glass window, and it was all fields and beautiful outside. But in the field, I could see what looked like a muck spreader, a farmer's muck spreader. And I was like, oh no, this is awful. No one's going to want to have sex with the smell of shit everywhere. And I turned to Mrs. N in my dream and I went, Mrs. N, the muck's spreading outside. It's awful. It's repugnant. I remember actually using the word repugnant in my dream, which is bizarre in itself. I've never used it in real life. I was like, this is horrible. This is awful. We're about to host a swinging party and, oh my God, this is awful. And then I suddenly woke up. And we have 3 hounds in our house.
We do.
And one of them had obviously had one too many treats and had shit right across our bedroom floor. And I realised at this point in my life, I've been on this earth for many decades, and I realised at this point that your sense of smell can dictate your dreams. So there you go. That's
at least for you, it was just in your dream. I was actually cleaning it up.
Well, you weren't at that stage because I went, oh my God, Mrs. N, the dog shit all over the
Oh, yeah, so apologies, listeners, for sharing that much information with you. But, you know, we like to be open and honest.
It was like a disgusting version of that old saying when you go, I dreamt I was eating a giant marshmallow and my pillow had gone. But worse, a million times
I think
worse.
I would have preferred the marshmallows.
Oh, dear.
Anyway, moving
swiftly on.
Do we not have some messages?
We do. We've had quite a few messages this week, and we might as well start with the message that relates to last week's show. And it says, we've just been listening to the latest podcast, and it was about Ash and Tanya. So do you remember last week we talked about Ash and Tanya? There was a piece written in the mainstream media. They were all over mainstream media. And it was regarding their parties because they only want attractive people at their parties.
That's right. Yes. Yes.
So this message kind of relates to all that story. And it says, we've just been listening to the latest podcast and the Ash and Tanya piece caught our interest. We've been watching them for a while on YouTube and find them a really nice couple and good for the hobby. We have picked up that they might have a certain demographic for their events that, due to age, we might not fit into. Nonetheless, we still like them. Hopefully, they'll take your offer up and come onto the V2V podcast to redeem themselves. They might be surprised how quick the time goes to their 50s plus. And not all of us have been fortunate enough to enter the lifestyle as what they have. As always, we love your show and your light-hearted approach to the hobby. And that is from Mrs. P and Mr.
Oh, bless you.
That's MRSP and MR. Mm-hmm. Mrs. P and Mr. on Fab. Thank you so much for that. We did try to kind of approach that one. We did say it was a bit of a hot potato.
Yeah.
And we've had a lot of messages about that. Some people very supportive. Some people kind of like upset a little bit because, as I say, their parties are literally, in their own words, for attractive people only.
Yeah.
So we'll leave that one there. But swinging has been in the media again, hasn't it?
It's practically every week, Mr. N.
It's becoming an obsession with mainstream media. But I think they slowly are acknowledging that it is going more mainstream.
Yeah, absolutely. I have a question for you.
Okay.
As regards to the naughty hobby, have you ever heard of the term wife snatching?
Oh, I have.
Have you?
Yes.
I've never heard of it.
Wife snatching, yes.
So there's an article on Lad Bible regarding how a swinger explains worrying wife snatching trend that can happen when in the lifestyle. Well, you see, this is the thing. I'd never heard of the term wife snatching, so I've done a little bit of reading. And this article goes on to say, from spicy cruises to holiday resorts and festivals, there has even been swinging scandals that have led to entire TV shows. So with this new sparked interest into the form of non-monogamy in relationships, we can start digging into different trends and sexy goings-on.
See, they're admitting it's gone more mainstream.
So, for anybody that has heard of Vista Wife...
Hey, we've seen Gage and Vista Wife.
We certainly have. We've had the pleasure of being in their company at one of the events that we've been to.
More than one.
More than one, actually. So Vista Wife shares explainers and insights into lifestyle as a swinger herself.
And for anybody that doesn't know, Vista Wife, they are really probably one of the most predominantly known swingers in the UK. They run this hugely successful Swing Hub app.
Yep, they do.
They do their own events. You see Swing Hub events all around the country.
Yeah, there's Swing Hub rooms in a lot of the clubs now.
Including Mamba.
Yeah.
Purple Mamba, yeah.
Yeah, which we have talked about. Anyway, Vista Wife goes on to say, let's be clear, this doesn't happen all the time, but just watch out that it can happen, she warns.
Ooh.
So the swinger said it starts just like any normal situation with a couple speaking to another couple. However, with the intentions to only play with the wife and leave the husband out. Vista Wife then went on to point out the signs that this might be going on in case other swingers want to keep themselves clear from any wife-snatching behaviours.
You don't want any wife snatching.
Or it could be perhaps that it is your more kind of thing. So if you have started a group chat and all the attention and messages are directed to the woman of the couple, that could be a tiny little indicator that something's not quite right.
Yeah.
And if the wife snatching catches you off guard and starts to kick off while you're playing, then this is when your code words come in handy. If one of you feels really uncomfortable, use one of your code words and that'll stop playing.
Good advice.
It is good advice. So from a deep dive across social media rather than from my own experience, other swingers say that wife snatching isn't exactly extremely common.
Have we experienced
I don't think so.
I think it's something you probably get more on the social media platforms.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I can't say as I've witnessed it actually at a club.
We've had messages where people have said, Mrs. N, are you playing alone? You know, and it's from... So I suppose, it happens more on social media than in real life, I would say.
Okay. Well, interestingly, other swingers have put on Vista Wife's post that they've had the same thing happen to them at a club and it's put them off. One even wrote, almost every single conversation we've had with couples is all about the wife.
It's a difficult one, isn't it? Because I think women are celebrated in the lifestyle and women are definitely in the spotlight more than the male side of things.
I would agree with that, yeah. I mean, some of them go on to say that it happens a lot in their chats, as plenty agreed that communication really is important. So communication is the key because you may not realise it's actually happening.
Have you ever been this is a very good topic, in as much as have you ever been in a club and felt like you've been ignored and the attention's just been on me?
Oh, that's interesting now you think of it. Probably, yes.
Really?
Yes, I think probably. I may not have said anything.
No, I don't remember ever you saying
I don't think we ever
anything.
discussed it, but because you make me giggle, Mr. M, because you constantly don't think that people find you attractive or people want to play.
I'm busy doing things.
No, it's the same old. And I always say to you, you don't pick up the signs. There are signs there that you don't see. I do. I do see them a lot. So, yeah, I think there has been times, but I probably didn't think of it in that way that, like they call it wife snatching. I haven't thought about it as in husband snatching. But
I guess, from my point of view, I think I feel very confident in our relationship. So I don't worry too much about the attention being put on you because, you always draw me into the conversation or whatever. But no, I can't honestly say that I've ever even in the early days, before we were like known as Mr. and Mrs. N, I can't really think of a time. Plus, we had a hot wife dynamic, so I just got off on it anyway.
Well, yeah, but that's the thing. I was just going to say, even though we had a hot wife dynamic, it was still about all of us.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
And that's something that people might not understand. That if you think, my wife is the one that's playing, it isn't just about that. Like yourself, you really get a lot out of a hot wife scenario.
Yeah, it's really important to talk to the husband, even if you know that it's a hot wife dynamic that a couple has. It's so important to include the husband in that conversation, in everything that's happening.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people who probably don't have that type of dynamic might not understand that it is actually about you as a couple, isn't it?
Very important.
Yeah, massively important.
Yeah, I think Vista Wife gives some very good advice. And if you're ever in a situation that you don't feel comfortable in and one of you feels ignored, it's really important to use those code words. Or if it's a squeeze of the hand, like we've talked about before, and things like that, to kind of say, or even if you say, I'm going to get some air, let's get some air, whatever, let's get a drink from the bar. Whatever situation you're in, just take yourself away from the situation so you can clearly communicate amongst yourselves.
Yeah, exactly. You don't want any misunderstanding with regards to whatever signals are being given off.
Because when there's four of you in a situation, it's so easy. You're focusing on the other people and you're listening to them. You're picking up as much information as you can. You want to know what they like, what they don't like. And it's so easy to kind of not turn to your side and see your own partner.
Absolutely.
And she's probably sitting there with like rabbit in the headlights going, get me out of here. Yeah.
Sometimes also you don't necessarily pick up on those signs or don't necessarily know how to deal with them.
Yeah.
So you might not think anything of it at the time. You might just think, somebody's just being nice. But, that it could have a different meaning to it.
And I think it is up to the person where the attention is being shone upon.
Yes.
So if you feel that the attention is being shone upon you, it is up to you to kind of remind them, well, we are in this as a couple. Absolutely.
So important to keep that.
Yeah. And then if they don't pick up on that, yeah. Cut it dead.
Absolutely. But yeah, good article.
And it's nice to see content creators like Vista Wife being portrayed so positive.
Yes, absolutely.
Nice. Good.
Absolutely.
Now, talking about all the attention being on one woman, Mrs. N.
What?
There was a piece in The Independent.
I've not been in the paper, have I?
Not this week. And the headline is Keeping It in the Family.
Ooh.
Inside the Indian tradition of polyamorous marriages.
Oh, okay.
Okay. When a bride in a remote Himalayan village wed two brothers last month.
You go, girl.
Absolutely. And she's a stunner. She's in a beautiful kind of sari dress.
Wow.
With two handsome guys either side of her.
Yes.
And basically, it goes on to say, for 3 days in July, folk songs, drum beats, all echoed around this little quiet village, perched high in the Indian Himalayas, as hundreds of people gathered to celebrate a wedding. And it drew a large crowd and soon national attention. It was in the hamlet of Shilai in the Himachal Pradesh. You're going to have to excuse my pronunciation there. It was Sunita Chauhan. I hope you pronounce her name. I'm sorry, Sunita, if I've pronounced your name wrong. And she was marrying not one man, but two brothers, Pradeep and Kapil.
Wow.
I know, you absolutely. The wedding ceremony on the 12th of July was solemnized in accordance with Fodiara. Again, I'm not sure
I'm
about that.
glad you're reading this out.
And it was a polyandrous tradition unique to the local Hatti tribe, where a woman marries multiple brothers to keep the household united and family land from splitting.
Oh, well, that's a practical reason to marry your two brothers.
Absolutely. And she basically goes on to say they tried interviewing her, but she got pissed off and went, why is all this national media around me? All go away.
Good on you, girl.
So, yeah, she didn't want to be in the spotlight.
Oh, bless her. She's just doing what comes naturally.
But it kind of just goes on to show that there's so many of these traditions where it's so different to our Western culture.
Yeah.
But they all seem very happy. And
it's probably more accepted.
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
Very good. Very good.
So, Mr. N.
Yes.
You know what time it is.
Oh, it's Friday.
It is.
Time for a fun fact.
From Mrs. Mother Trucker. It's Fun Fact Friday.
Fun Fact Friday.
British spies stopped using semen as invisible ink because it began to smell if it wasn't fresh.
Well, that's James Bond ruined for me.
I love Mrs. Mother Trucker.
I honestly wonder and worry what that girl's internet history looks like.
Actually, talking about that, our next guest, I wonder what her internet history looks like.
I think it's going to be naughty. Very, very naughty.
Now, what makes you say that, Mr. N?
Her name is Caroline, the naughty author.
Okay, that kind of gives it away.
It kind of gives a clue as to where we're going, doesn't it?
It does. And do you want to know the title of her book?
Yes.
It's called Marriage, Friends and Lovers.
It's going to be quite naughty, isn't it?
I think maybe a tad. Yes.
So buckle up. Get ready, prepare yourself for the author of
Marriage, Friends and Lovers.
I think we're on the same page, Mrs. N. And joining us now, we have got the naughty author. I'm really excited for this one. Really excited.
Hello, my lovely.
Oh, hello, Mr. and Mrs. N. And how are we today?
Well, we're very good, thank you, my darling. How are you?
Very good, thank you, because it's the hump day.
It is.
That's however you want.
The best day of the week. Definitely the best day of the week.
By far.
Thank you so much for agreeing to come and talk to us.
Oh, no, thank you very much for inviting me on. It's a privilege, actually, to be invited on to something that is so well known and, really respected in the community. I've listened to a few episodes and I must say they're really, really interesting and really riveting. So I feel honoured to be asked. Thank you.
Bless you.
And you are our first naughty author
You are.
we've ever had on.
Oh, wow.
We've had film producers, haven't we? We've had film producers.
Yeah.
I don't think we've ever had an author.
I don't think we
A
have.
naughty
no.
author. We've had naughty film producers on. We've had naughty glamour models on, but we've never had a naughty author.
Yes.
So we always like to spread ourselves out and
Oh, it's always a good idea to spread yourself, isn't it? So, yes, you never know who you might meet. So, yes, definitely.
Absolutely. So, for our listeners, my darling, can you explain to them why are you called the naughty author?
Well, I write naughty novels. So they're based in everyday villages, think the typical English countryside. So I myself am based in the Midlands. And a couple of readers have said, oh, is it this village? And I've said, no, why? Do them naughty happenings happen there then? And they said, oh, no. You know, it just reminded me with the pub and that. So I decided to write a novel that people could really relate to. So, like I say, it's set in a really lovely country village with big houses and nice sports cars. But behind the facade is very naughty behaviour. People that are married to other people may be having indiscretions in certain spaces and areas. And also as well, there's quite a lot of naughtiness goes on between married couples and things like that. And it explores different routes as to why we may sometimes have indiscretions of other people. So it's not constant bang, bang, bang. It's very naughty. The naughtiness starts on page 9, actually, so don't have long to wait. But you also find out why these things have happened, what's happened in these people's lives to drive them to this direction, really, where they're looking for something outside of their marriage.
This sounds pretty like our kind of story, doesn't
absolutely.
it? Absolutely. Mrs. N does like a sexy plot. when she's watching any kind of like naughty films or any kind of naughty literature or anything, she likes a plot to it.
I like the build up. I like the story that leads you to it.
Yes.
It just makes it nice and sexy. But I'm not. I mean, I can openly confess that I'm not a huge reader. I struggle with my attention span. So for me to pick up a book, it has to grab me quite quickly. I think yours would definitely do that. If it's all happening by page 9, I'm there.
All happening by page 9. And as somebody, I do like to read, but I get very frustrated when I'm tired and I want to get to the end of it. I'm one of them annoying people who wants to get to the end of the chapter before I'll say, oh, that's enough for tonight. And then you see how far away the end is, and you've got like another 20 pages to read, and you think, oh, I'm never going to stay awake, or it won't go in if I read it. So the beauty of this one is every chapter is between 3 and 4 pages long.
Perfect.
And every time you go to a new chapter, you go to a new location in the village. So you might be in the pub. And when I say you might be, people have actually said that have read it, they don't feel as if they're reading. They feel as if they are a local, or they feel as if they're having their hair done, or they feel as if they're in the paper shop. And they feel like they're actually immersed in the story and watching it rather than reading about it.
That's brilliant.
That's amazing.
It's like a naughty soap opera on pages. I love it. I absolutely love this.
So
yes, it has been called EastEnders with sex.
So what inspired you, my lovely, to write?
Yeah, I mean, I've always enjoyed writing. Even at school, I used to enjoy English literature and writing essays. I know, I'm so sad. But when I left school, I became a hairdresser. And so I was the port of call for all the local gossip and everyone saying, oh, did you hear about? And, looking out the window and seeing who was going by with who and things like that. So it's always been in there. And then I decided I really wanted to write a novel that was about this type of thing, because I think really as well, in certain communities and certain walks of life, it's very taboo to talk about sex or sexual desires.
Totally.
And my main character and the main protagonist in the book is a guy called Rak Banerjee, and he's an Asian man, because I thought as well, when I read these books that are set in these quintessentially English villages, I don't know why, but they're always inhabited by just white British people.
Yeah.
It's like they've got a gate on the outside saying nobody else can come in. And I thought, it's not real, is it? So why don't we mix it up a bit? Yeah. So you've got this lovely, dark-skinned man that's going about and having an affair with the hairdresser, which incidentally is not me. It's not you then.
All the fantasies are coming out.
I know, and she's blonde and she drives a Mini. I mean, yes, but it's not me. But I just thought, well, make it relatable to yourself. So it mixes up cultures as well, and it mixes up stereotypes. So I wanted to write it, to answer your question, because I do like a bit of naughtiness, and I wanted to write it and see how I got on. And I started off writing it just for myself, really. And then I also wanted to write it to sort of address and question different stereotypes and the way people think about other people based on this, the most shallowest of ideas, really. So that's why it came to fruition.
When you started writing, did you share it with your friends, or was it just purely for you?
I did share it with my friends, and I've said, oh, what do you think? And when I wrote the first sort of naughty scenes, I was like, oh my God, I don't think it's very good. What do you think? Yeah. And they were like, oh God, you've got to carry on. I need to know what happens next. And so I thought, oh, okay. But when I first started writing, I only used to write on a Friday because I don't work on a Friday. So I used to write on a Friday. But I'd wake up about 3 a.m. on a Tuesday with this fantastic idea and think, oh, God, I want to write it. I can't wait to get to Friday. You used to be praying for the week. Well, we still pray for the working weeks to end, don't we? But you used to be praying for the week to end to get to that stage where I could sit and write it. And then when I sat down, another idea would come into my head, and I'd just shelve that really good thing from Tuesday for another day, because I thought, no, I want to write this now. And I feel like I know all the characters, and I want the readers to get to know them and to love them and to hate them, and sometimes love and hate them at the same time, and things like that as well.
So, and I know you say that obviously the hairdresser, it isn't you, but have some of the the scenes that you've written, especially probably the naughty ones, are any of those sort of fantasies of yours or
personal experiences is what you're asking me?
Well, yeah, but I was being polite.
I think you've got to base it on personal experience, haven't you? You've got to, or write about personal experience mixed in with a bit of fantasy of what you'd like. I mean, I think I'm a happily engaged lady, but at the same time, I think people wouldn't be true to themselves if they don't sometimes have a roving eye or a window shop, shall we say, without actually doing anything. Even when we watch the telly, there's people on TV that you might think, oh, he's nice, and you have a little fantasies about. So, it's a good way of actually safely living out your fantasies without actually finishing your relationship.
I'd imagine as well that's a good communication opener amongst couples, because if you get one side of the couple that's read it, and you can actually then open dialogue with a relationship and say, what did you find sexy about it? And we're big advocates for kind of good communication with relationships. So again, I'd imagine it's a great way to kind of like open that communication if both sides of the couple have read it.
Yeah, I would hope so. I mean, I did joke because it came out when it first launched. It was in June of a couple of years ago. And I said, look, I don't want to be responsible in 9 months' time for a load of babies because I don't really like kids. So, be prepared, be cautious. So I don't want to be hearing them. So, but I think it is a really good communication a tool, to be able to say, oh, I wonder how I can explain what I would like. Maybe if one partner is reluctant to sort of get involved in certain things. And, it also touches on that as well. The lady in question, the hairdresser, her husband is sort of very reluctant to do certain naughty acts with her that her lover does. And so she suddenly feels liberated. But she said that she couldn't ever tell him what she wanted because he would make an excuse or he wouldn't do it or he'd think he wasn't very good at it. And I think it's also being able to talk openly about it and saying, what would you like? What do you like about, how we are together? Are we intimate enough? Or do we have enough intimacy leading up to when we actually may go to bed or over the kitchen table or whatever it is? And things like that, and making sure that your relationship works as a whole, because sometimes as well, there can be one partner that is really, up for always having the naughty times, but maybe doesn't want to have the other times as well. And so I think it really does open it up to both sides of that conversation to make sure that couples are able to communicate. And it shows as well what can happen if couples don't communicate, that there may be, an affair or an indiscretion because people feel that they can't talk to the person they're with.
If the communication is not there, is what can happen further down the road and the consequences of it. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I mean, that's amazing. I mean, I know you said you've listened to a few of our episodes, but we do bang on all the time about communication and the benefits, I think, that the naughty hobby bring to couples and, people in relationships, because it does allow them to be more honest and open. So any tool that kind of gets that, the juices flowing as in conversations with each other is always a really positive thing.
I've got to ask as well, because I imagine you've had to kind of come out as a naughty author. You've kind of bared your soul of your naughty fantasies, and to write erotic literature in so many ways. Anything to do with sex can still be frowned upon so much. If you've chosen to write about the history of steam engines or something, everyone's full of admiration, and everyone's, you're so clever and all this, that, and the other. Oh, I'm an author, but you write about sex, and it still has stigmas attached to it. We know, we do a podcast about sex, so we still know that there's an awful lot of stigma attached to that whole. Anybody involved in that industry. How did you find any kind of negative responses or? Yeah,
definitely, and more for my partner than myself, really, because he's quite shy. He's not like me. He's not out, as in outgoing and out there sort of thing, And I felt a little bit for him because people would say to him, "Oh, is it based on experience, mate?" And live him a bit.
Yeah.
And he'd be like, I don't want to talk about, this isn't about us. It's a book. It's like watching a television program. You don't say to the actress, "Did you really kill somebody because you just played a murderer?" It's like, or the author of a murder novel goes around maybe, knocking people over the head. So I think it was a lot for him. For me personally, I do feel that the small-minded people were the first ones to say, "Oh, what's that? Is it smut?" And I've had it called smut a lot. But I don't think they've actually got past page 9. I think they've gone straight to the sex, read it, and then gone, "Oh, it's smut." But they haven't gone on to read why it's occurred, what's happening in each person's relationship, how that fits in with how this affair is developing. Because if they had, they might have understood it more. So I think, it's difficult. I think of anything, people criticise what they don't understand. So if they don't understand it and they're small minded and they're closed off to it, they will criticise it.
The thing is, literature as well as films, it's an escape. You escape your own life to just, disappear into different scenarios and different lives of other people.
It's an ultimate escape, isn't it?
It is an ultimate escape. So, I mean, I think, unfortunately, the people who are slightly small-minded are just looking for something to complain about.
Oh, definitely. And I would say to them, if it's like anything, isn't it? If you don't like something on social media, don't complain about it, just scroll on by.
Exactly.
If you don't want to watch something on the TV, well, watch a different channel then. I think read a different book if you don't want to read about what's in mine. I think it is difficult because people have always got an opinion, and it's always the ones that with the negative opinions that will shout the loudest.
How many chapters are in this book then?
I think there's about 80 chapters, 80-ish chapters. So
that's a lot of naughtiness. That's a lot of naughtiness.
The book itself is 502 pages. I do know that. Okay. So, but the shortest chapter is 1 page. And the longest is about 4 pages. So it's quick, it's fast-paced, it's designed as a quick fix as well. So maybe if you're on your lunch break, you can have a little bit of a read and not feel like you're leaving something half read halfway through a chapter, and then maybe boost your afternoon. Or if you're on an airplane, you can sit and read it. Or if you're by the pool, you might read the whole lot in one afternoon. It has been known, people have read the whole book in an afternoon, and they said, "I just hooked, I couldn't put it down, I need to know what happened next." So it's designed though with the quick fixes in mind, to help people who maybe do want that little bit of inspiration, or maybe couples that, they don't want to read War and Peace, but they just want something to get them in the mood, and bring them closer together.
And anything's got to be better than 50 Shades of Grey.
Yeah.
So.
She's now worth £95 million, apparently. So, you would have thought so, wouldn't you? But what I would say is, they don't tie each other up. He doesn't hit her with any whips or anything. I mean, I suppose you could say, your podcast is brilliant, vanilla to Vixen. It's a little bit vanilla in some places, and in other places not so. But
a bit more Vixen.
More Vixen, But 50 Shades, I like that for the fun factor, but the fact you had to wait till page 87 to actually get anything happening, I don't know what happened in them first 87 pages, but you think, oh, come on. I think because everybody had hyped it up, just waiting for the sex. I remember a friend of mine saying, "You've got to get to page 87. I just skipped the first pages. And I thought, I'm not having people do that with my book if it ever comes out. Page 9 is quite early enough.
How did you, I was going to say, so 1 minute you kind of like sitting in your kitchen or wherever, writing all this naughtiness, which sounds brilliant. So how did it get from just this kind of these pages that you were writing that you were showing to your friends to then a book? Because that's like not an easy process to go from one to the other.
No, it was a nightmare. I mean, initially it went from, in my professional work and as a naughty author, I go to a networking group, and the guy there that runs it said, "Oh, why don't you just publish it, darling? I know some people that can help you." So I did meet these people. I wouldn't say they were very helpful in the end, but by the time I'd realised that, being new and quite green, I spent too much money and I was too far along, so I thought I'll carry on with them. It turns out later I found out, because you don't really look at people when you're so excited because they're feeding you all the right noises, that they only did business books normally. So I'm sure they found my book rather challenging. But so I worked with an editor. He helped make it into a book. And then I decided to launch it. And it all went a bit mad. From somebody that had never used Instagram in her life, I was posting on it 3 or 4 times a day. I was forever on social media. And I just thought, wow, this is a whole different world. I've never really looked at marketing. I actually have been quoted to say the writing's the easy bit, because the marketing and the promotion is so difficult to keep on top of. Because writing, you're in your own little bubble, and then yourselves, when you're looking at anything on social media, people want to interact with you at all times of the day and night, and you're not used to it, and you think, oh right, okay, well I'll talk to you, have I? It sounds really bad, but it really snowballed. And by the time I'd actually spoken with them, I'd already written, unbeknownst to me, because they said, oh, how big a book is supposed to be, and mine's quite a thick novel. I'd already written half of book 2, because I always thought I want to carry on with it. So the book 2 was born then, because it was a half written. I actually prefer the second book, but I'm now in a quandary about how to release it. It's written, it's ready to go, but I'm looking for anyone that might want to edit it for me. Hear the plug, anybody at all that may want to edit it without costing a fortune, because I'd like to release that, because the first one ends on a cliffhanger, and my readers hate me at the moment.
So book 2 kind of follows on, so it still has the same characters and...
Yeah, it follows on. 5 weeks later is where book 2 picks up from where book 1 ends. And it just follows on. And then I began writing book 3. That's a lot more challenging. That actually goes 15 years into the future. So they're a lot older, they're a lot different, they think a lot differently. And it's weird, because with the first 2, I knew who they were. And so trying to write people that are now 15 years older, you've got to remember they've maybe got different things that have happened to them. They may have got different opinions, more narrow-minded and wide-waisted, or, and you just think, how would that happen? They're older now, he's older. Would that happen? Would this happen? The kids that were in their 20s when I last wrote it are now in their nearly 40s, and so it's very it's different. So that won't be ready quite as soon, but it is different.
That's so good, because it's like you've kept challenging yourself. The thing is, you do the first book, it goes really, really well. That kind of could have been the thing that it's the scratch that resolved the itch, rather. But for you to carry on and produce book 2 and also book 3 and move it on as well, that's a huge challenge.
Definitely. I mean, I know with book 1, I just wrote it as it was. I mean, the headings of the chapters are the page, the chapter number, so chapter 24, the bull, which is the pub, and Friday afternoon. And so, and the days would come along. And in the first book, I think you go from about June to October, September. And then in the second book, you go from September to Christmas to New Year's Eve. And so it's only really, in 2 books, it's only covering 6 months of these people's lives, which sounds like, bloody hell, Caroline, could you got to move on? Can't we go a bit quicker? Whereas the third one now, it's really going back over the last 15 years and what's happened, and the chapters take you back to that, so you can actually see it yourself and read it yourself, rather than being told. You can actually see and feel those emotions that those characters were feeling at that time. So it has been challenging. I never thought I'd be able to do that. So it's just having the belief to say, come on, knuckle down, let's get on with it.
Do you think your style of writing's changed at all from the first book to the third book?
Yeah, a little bit. I'm very aware of bits that I'm maybe not covering so much that I did in the first one. For example, he's a really big music fan. So there was a lot of references to songs and different meanings and things like that, and how the lyrics would transfer to the book and, you know, the story. That's not happened so much. And I think, I really need to bring that back in a little bit, you know, because he'd still like music. And so it's sort of reminding myself as well of things that wouldn't have changed, and then being very sort of aware of things that have changed. There may be health things, or, you know, relationship differences and things like that. Same with the female lead as well. Her life has changed so much in 15 years. Imagine you've got a friend that you see every day, and then you don't see them for a long time, and you see them again, and they're still the same person, but maybe so much has happened to them, they're different as well.
And is there as much naughtiness in book 3?
Oh, yes. Yes, there's a lot more actually, because I became a little bit more confident with book 3, because like I say, book 2 has followed on from book 1, and it is more naughty. As they go on, they get naughtier. So book 2 is naughtier than book 1, and book 3 is very naughty. So yes, there's naughty affairs that shouldn't be happening, and naughty, shall we say, indiscretions, and yes, and maybe naughty things on different mediums such as phones and things like that. So yes, there's a lot more things going on in book 3. One of the bits of feedback I got back from a reader of book 1 was, I really loved it. I read it by the pool in 2 days, but I was expecting a bit more kinkiness. Thought, right, okay. And then I had a bit of time a couple of years ago. So it was December 2023, just before Christmas. I had some time to myself, and I did a series of short stories, and they're on the website. You can't buy them, you can just download them, but they're only 3 or 4 pages long for the whole story, and they're quite rude, and you actually have to put your date of birth in to access them. So they're on there. There's only 4 of them, and I just thought, right, let's play around with this. And I would definitely recommend to people, if they're looking for something a bit naughty than normal, maybe to go for Amit and Lottie's story on the short stories. They'll like that. Amit and Lottie.
Amit
and Naughty.
And
Lottie. Yeah.
I'm going to be downloading that.
I shall send it to you, Mrs. N.
Oh, bless you, my darling. Thank you. Did you have to do any research for these naughty bits, obviously the kinky bits and things? Did you do any digging around? And
I can recommend a V2V party to come to.
You know what? I had to explain to Mr. Naughty Author why the internet history looked a bit shady. I think he thought, what is she doing on her days off, at home on her own? I wanted to know what this was. I mean, I did have to tell you, but I'll let you into a little secret. As I say, I'm writing the 3rd book, and I wanted to know something the other day. I wanted to know, for a woman, what anal fingering felt like, so I had to Google it. And I did warn him that it may be, I just want you to know it's there. It's not me. It's just for purposes of research.
All you had to do, my lovely, was send me a message. I could have answered the question for you.
I'll remember that in future. It will save me the embarrassment of having to ask him not to look at the internet.
Yeah. Just check in with me first. I may be able to answer quite a few questions.
Perfect. Because then they start sending you weird stuff on Instagram, because I don't know how Instagram know what you've looked at, whatever. It's like the universe knows every movement now.
Oh, I know. Big Brother is definitely watching.
Definitely. So yeah, I do have to research some items, yes.
That's so funny. I love the fact that you have to apologise to Mr. Naughty Author just in case he gets the wrong idea.
Yeah, just in case. I wasn't looking at anything I shouldn't have, but I was, but no, just in case.
I mean, you don't have to answer this, but has he actually turned around to you and said, do you fancy trying that?
No. Oh, yeah, he loves it. not when people say to him, "Oh, is this all about your sex life?" Like,
oh, bless
it's nothing
him.
private anymore.
I know.
We know that very well.
Yeah, like I say, I think we've just got to the point now where we just, you know, our sex life and our shenanigans is all very public, isn't it?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I think people would rather talk to us now about other stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he's only just getting used to being called Mr. Naughty Author on social media, because he's not on social media. He's the opposite of me. He's very reclusive with that. He doesn't want his whole life plastered all over social media. That's fine. So I can't tag him. So I just put Mr. Naughty Author and I are doing this weekend, or Mr. Naughty Author. Like last week, I had to go to the hospital, and I put Mr. Naughty Author wearing his nurse's outfit this weekend, which a couple of our friends did leave me messages, and he just sat there going and shaking his head, thinking, I can't believe you're doing this. Why do you put it out there in the public domain? I've not even got a nurse's outfit, by the way. Can we just say that? Yes. So, yes, I do think I embarrass him sometimes.
Oh, bless you. It sounds like he takes it all in good humour, though.
He does take it very well. I think he's just waiting for me to become a millionaire so that, yeah, he can just say, oh, well, it's the books. So, yeah.
I mean, obviously, we do a lot of events and V2V events and things. If ever you fancy coming along to a V2V event, I'm sure a lot of our guests would like to meet the Naughty Author.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, that sounds amazing. Yes, I'd love that. I really would. That would be fantastic. Thank you.
The community, and especially the loyal followers of V2V, they're an amazing community, and they're so supportive.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you know, we're all like massive advocates for anything that supports positivity in regards to anything sexual.
Absolutely.
You never know. You may get some new ideas for future books.
Only in the certain rooms.
Yes, I won't even have to go on the internet.
All we'll see is the Naughty Author running around with your little notebook.
But yeah, it's amazing to have that support, because it's like I say, it's still very taboo even now in 2025. I mean, I don't even think people have sex anymore, you know, because they just don't talk about it. I think it's strange, because it's where we all came from. It's what we all do for recreation, or a lot of us do for recreation, and it can also be an art form as well. I mean, if you think back to the old classic, you know, works of art, it's always ladies with no clothes on.
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand where this embarrassment comes from with people.
Yeah, it happens somewhere between the Roman times. Obviously, they were always at it, and then all of a sudden, everything went backwards. And sexuality should be celebrated.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I mean, I don't understand why people have a problem with people per se. Really, it's like people moan about pride. Oh, it's pride. What we're doing pride for? Well, if you don't want to go, don't go. You know, it's just why moan about everything? Life's too short. We should all, you know, enjoy every single day. And if that means, you know, sitting at home with your knitting or whatever, that's fine. And for other people, it means going out and having some really great naughty times. And, you know, I just think everyone should be each to their own, really, live and let live.
I always think that the people that tend to protest a lot are usually the ones that are doing all the naughtiness, but they don't want to tell anyone.
Well, the ones that want to be doing all the naughty.
Well, yeah. You can't tell me that there is anybody out there who doesn't have a secret fascination with, you know, naughty novels and naughty stories and things like that. I mean, we were all really nosy. We were all really inquisitive, and everybody likes to read about naughtiness, surely.
It's difficult, because I can't say where the confidence came from me, because it wasn't that it was originally done to be published or to be out in the public domain. It was just something for me. So, and then it sort of had its own life. And, you know, what I would say as well to anyone that's thinking about doing it, don't be afraid to ask your network, ask your connections, ask your friends to help you, because everybody wants to help. And I actually read something really interesting this morning. why are people so afraid to ask for help? Yeah, if somebody asked them for help, they'd help them straight away. But we're all like, oh no, I don't want to ask because it might, But whenever we get asked, we always help people if we can. So why not ask?
Absolutely.
It's true. I think we are our own worst enemies sometimes, aren't we? We're always like, well, I don't want to burden anybody. And it's like, but you're not a burden. It's like we're there to help each other and support each other. So yeah, I think as human beings, we really do need to learn to open up more with people.
Yeah, definitely.
So I've got to ask just to kind of finish off with. So, what is the title of your book? Just remind our listeners the title of your book.
The title is Marriage, Friends and Lovers.
And where can we go to if we want to buy this book?
You can buy it directly from me, and I'll sign it and post it myself, my own fair hands.
Mr.
www.carolinanaughtyauthor.com. But I'll pop that over to you. Or you can go to Amazon, but they also charge me quite a lot of money. I don't get so much royalties from them. So am I allowed to say that? So come directly to me where you have a signed copy.
Brilliant. Absolutely. Definitely go for the signed copy.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
And who knows, we might be able to persuade you to come to a V2V event, and you could even get a copy signed there. You could get it personalised and all sorts.
Yeah, definitely. You can have a personalised signed copy, all of your own, that you can have whatever message you want in. I'd love to take you up on that opportunity if there's anything that comes along. Yeah, that'd be great.
Excellent. That's brilliant.
We should definitely sort that out. That would be fabulous.
Well, thank you so much for coming on V2V, from Vanilla to Vixen. It's our first author. I'm very excited. That's so very excited. I've been excited all day.
I've been excited as well because I've not really done podcasts, and I think, people gone about podcast, and I thought, well, what if it's recorded with the visual as well, and I haven't done my hair today and things like that. I've enjoyed it more, and I thought, because you're both great at it, so you put me at ease. And thank you so much for that. It didn't feel awkward. In fact, it just felt like we were chatting. So, yeah, thank you.
It is.
Our podcast is so naughty, we can't have camera on our podcast. It's so naughty. Nobody would ever come on if we had cameras on our podcast. So, yeah, we had to refrain. It's brilliant.
But, yeah, thank you very much for having me. I've really enjoyed it.
You're welcome. Thank you so much.
Please keep us posted on book 3 and how it's going.
I will do. I'll also let you know when book 2's coming out. If I can get someone to edit it for me at a reasonable price, it may be sooner rather than later, but I can't make any promises on that. So, but the story is written, it's there, it's waiting. So yes, if any budding editors out there, get in touch.
We will do our best to find you an editor. If there's any budding editors out there, give us a call. You know how to get in touch with us. It's v2v.uk. Send us a message.
Yeah,
via the website.
Fantastic.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for coming on today, and we hope to have you definitely on the show again. And who knows, we might be able to get you on a live event. And
that would be awesome.
That would be great.
Thank you so much.
We will put in the programme notes again how you can get hold of the naughty author should you want to send her a message.
Absolutely.
But yeah, thanks again, my lovely. It's been an absolute pleasure to talk to you.
Thank you very much, and you too. Loved it. Thanks very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.